just see what he's gone through, what no American president has had to endure. No one.
What happens when politics, romance, and a little public drama all crash into each other? Meet Kimberly Guilfoyle, a former prosecutor and Fox News star who ended up engaged to Donald Trump Jr. and deep inside MAGA world.
Kimberly, how do you feel about J.D. Vance being the vice presidential nominee?
I really like him personally. I think he's a good man. He's a great father, a great husband, a great American who served the country.
She was living the high life, all glitz and campaign glam, until one nickname, Margarita Girl, sparked a media storm. Suddenly, everything started falling apart. And just when it got weird enough, rumors swirled about her becoming an ambassador to Greece. So how did it all go down? Let's unpack the wild ride.
Ladies and gentlemen, leaders and fighters for freedom and liberty and the American dream, the best is yet to come.
Kimberly Guilfoyle's journey to the Trump inner circle is a classic American rags-to-riches saga, marked by grit, tragedy, and unrelenting ambition. Born in San Francisco to a working-class family, her father, an Irish immigrant, toiled as a construction worker, while her Puerto Rican mother, a special education teacher, instilled a fierce work ethic. Tragedy struck at 11 when her mother died of leukemia, a loss that forged Kimberly's resilience. She thrived at Mercy High School, then earned a degree from UC Davis and a Juris Doctor from the University of San Francisco School of Law, modeling for catalogs to pay the bills, her charisma already shining. After earning her law degree from the University of San Francisco, she made a name for herself in the gritty world of criminal justice, serving as a tough-as-nails prosecutor in both San Francisco and Los Angeles. She tackled domestic violence, child abuse, and homicide cases, earning respect for her commanding courtroom presence. In 2000, she married Gavin Newsom, then a rising San Francisco politician, becoming the city's first lady during his mayoral tenure. By 2004, Kimberly swapped legal briefs for TV scripts, launching her media career with both sides on Court TV and offering legal takes on Anderson Cooper, 360. Her natural charisma and fierce opinions quickly caught the attention of Fox News. By 2006, she was a conservative media staple, co-hosting The Five, filling in on Hannity and Fox and Friends, and making regular appearances on The O'Reilly Factor with her bold "Is it legal?" debates. She wasn't just on screen, she owned the screen. As co-host of The Five, guest host on Hannity and Fox and Friends, and a regular on The O'Reilly Factor's Is It Legal segment, she became a conservative icon. Her sharp intellect and bold delivery made her a fan favorite. Kimberly's ambition didn't stop at TV. By 2016, she was eyed for Trump's press secretary role, telling Bay Area News Group it'd be an honor to serve. She stayed with Fox, but joined the Trump orbit in 2018, working for a pro-Trump super PAC. Her fiery 2020 RNC speech and $15,000 monthly payments through Brad Parscale's firm for Trump's campaign cemented her as a MAGA heavyweight. Then came the twist that shifted everything. In 2018, Kimberly abruptly exited Fox News under the cloud of a sexual harassment investigation, details of which remain murky and controversial. But instead of fading away, she doubled down. She became a fierce advocate for Donald Trump, channeling her energy into campaigning, fundraising, and becoming one of the loudest voices in the MAGA movement. Gavin Newsom is the current governor of California, but back then, he was mayor of San Francisco. The pair were dubbed the city's golden couple before divorcing in 2006. She remarried businessman Eric Villancy, with whom she had a son, Ronan, before their marriage ended in 2009. It seems the lady had many highs in her professional life, but her personal relationships never seemed to last. So how did this legal eagle-turned-conservative firebrand go from TV stardom to being Don Jr.'s high-profile fiancé? We will rewind the tape and dive into the whirlwind journey that took Kimberly from courtrooms and cable news to the very heart of the Trump political machine. Before that, let's check out the other major character of today's narrative, Donald Trump Jr. Picture a kid navigating tabloid chaos, torn between loyalty and independence. Born December 31st, 1977 in New York City, Donald John Trump Jr. was the eldest child of Donald Trump and Ivana Trump, a Czech-born model. Raised in opulence, he attended elite schools like the Buckley School, but his childhood wasn't all glitz. His parents' high-profile 1992 divorce, fueled by Donald Sr.'s affair with Marla Maples, rocked young Don Jr. At 12, he stopped speaking to his father for a year, blaming him for the family's unraveling, per a 2004 New York Magazine profile. Sent to the Hill School, a Pennsylvania boarding school, Don Jr. found solace in the outdoors, learning to hunt and fish with his Czech grandparents. As Ivanka noted in 2010, his love for nature contrasted with his father's urban persona, setting him apart. At the University of Pennsylvania's Wharton School, he earned a degree in economics in 2000, but not without a rebellious streak. Post-graduation, he briefly lived out of a truck in Colorado, bartending and embracing a rugged lifestyle before joining the Trump Organization. This blend of privilege and defiance shaped a man who'd later channel his grit into politics. Imagine stepping into a real estate juggernaut, tasked with proving your worth. Don Jr. joined the Trump Organization in 2001, becoming executive vice president alongside brother Eric. Based in Jupiter, Florida, he oversees the company's sprawling portfolio, from deal analysis to branding and operations. His early projects included Trump Place, a massive West Side Yards redevelopment in Manhattan, and Trump Park Avenue, a luxury condo conversion. He spearheaded Trump International Hotel and Tower in Chicago, a 92-story behemoth named a top hotel by Condé Nast Traveler, and expanded the brand globally with properties like Trump Towers Pune in India and Trump International Hotel in Vancouver. Despite pledges to avoid foreign deals during Trump's presidency, Don Jr. and Eric faced scrutiny for collecting payments from foreign governments at U.S. properties, per Wikipedia. A 2022 lawsuit by New York Attorney General Letitia James alleged persistent business fraud through false asset valuations, with Don Jr. testifying in the civil trial. His net worth, estimated over $150 million, reflects his real estate success, boosted by media ventures like his books Triggered, 2019, and Liberal Privilege, 2020, which climbed bestseller lists. Yet, the Trump brand's political baggage has sparked backlash, requiring strategic navigation. Don Jr.'s business acumen is undeniable, but his political ambitions would soon overshadow it. Envision a reluctant heir embracing the campaign trail, finding his voice. Don Jr.'s political journey began with his father's 2015 presidential run. Initially expecting to return to real estate post-election, he got bitten by the political bug, per a 2017 CNN interview. As a key surrogate, he crisscrossed the country, speaking at GOP dinners and headlining fundraisers like one for Rebuilding America Now. His outdoorsy persona, hunting with Representative Steve King in Iowa, connected with working-class voters, distinguishing him from his father's urban image. At the 2016 RNC, Don Jr.'s speech put his father over the delegate count, calling him a mentor and best friend. He influenced Trump's choice of Ryan Zinke as Secretary of the Interior, showing early clout. The New York Times dubbed him a close political advisor, but his inexperience drew skepticism. A 2019 Atlantic report cited Trump calling him not the sharpest knife in the drawer, and campaign staff nicknamed him Fredo, a Godfather jab. Still, Don Jr. carved a niche as a right-wing provocateur, per The Washington Post, defending Trumpism with unapologetic zeal. Post-2020, Don Jr. solidified his MAGA stature. He campaigned for conservative candidates and spoke at CPAC, his confrontational style electrifying crowds. In 2024, he lobbied hard for J.D. Vance as Trump's running mate, boasting to Tucker Carlson, "I exerted 10,000% of my political capital." A photo of him with Trump, Mike Johnson, Elon Musk, and RFK Jr. on Trump's plane, shared widely online, underscored his central role, per AP News. But Don Jr.'s political ascent wasn't without stumbles, and Guilfoyle's issue was not the only big stone he had to turn. In June 2016, he met Russian lawyer Natalia Veselnitskaya, arranged by Emin Agalarov, expecting dirt on Hillary Clinton. His eager response, "If it's what you say, I love it," raised red flags in the Mueller investigation. He faced a 3-hour Senate Intelligence Committee session, with questions about lying to Congress, though no charges followed. In 2017, WikiLeaks corresponded with Don Jr., urging him to reject election results and share false claims about Clinton, which he provided to investigators. His 2020 campaign role amplified controversy. Promoting the stolen election conspiracy, he called for total war as votes were counted and texted Mark Meadows post-election to subvert the Electoral College, per CNN. At the January 6, 2021 Save America March, his speech threatened Trump's opponents, saying, "We're coming for you." D.C. Attorney General Karl Racine considered charging him for inciting the Capitol riot, though no charges materialized. Social media missteps, like a 2016 Skittles meme comparing refugees to poison candy, fueled accusations of racism per town and country. These scandals cemented his polarizing image, but endeared him to MAGA loyalists. Don Jr.'s life and activities reflects a paradox: a privileged heir claiming working-class kinship, a businessman tainted by ethical questions, and a provocateur thriving on controversy. His MAGA influence is undeniable, shaping Trump's VP pick in cabinet, per AP News, and rallying conservatives via Triggered. Yet, his books, slammed by the Washington Post for facile analysis and relentless hypocrisy, reveal blind spots, like claiming the Trumps sacrificed business for public service while profiting internationally. Now, back to the story we were unwrapping. Donald Trump Jr. and Kimberly Guilfoyle, a couple tailor-made for the MAGA spotlight. Their union wasn't just tabloid fodder, it was a match fueled by ambition, controversy, and a shared love of the spotlight. It all began in 2018, not long after Don Jr. finalized his divorce from Vanessa Hayden, the mother of his 5 children. Kimberly, freshly departed from Fox News under controversial circumstances, was already orbiting the Trump world. Their paths crossed seamlessly. Her son Ronan attended the same Manhattan school as Don Jr.'s daughter Kai. Their chemistry ignited at a farewell bash for the U.S. ambassador to Germany. And just like that, they were official. Rock star Bret Michaels even joined them in cozy Instagram snaps, heart emojis included. The MAGA universe had a new power couple. By 2019, insiders were calling them the prom king and queen of MAGA land. Kimberly's on-camera polish and courtroom-honed confidence gave Don Jr.'s rough edges a PR makeover. She wasn't just his girlfriend, she became his behind-the-scenes media coach, shaping him into a more calculated and compelling force on stage. Together, they barnstormed the campaign trail, headlined college campus events, and helped rake in millions for Trump's 2020 re-election push. At one University of Florida appearance, the couple earned $50,000, a payday that came with heavy protests and several arrests. Kimberly's speeches became infamous. Her 2020 Republican National Convention moment, arms raised, voice booming, had people either cheering or cringing. Critics called it theatrical and over the top. Fans dubbed it fearless. She stirred even more conversation with her claim of being a first-generation American, a complicated statement since her mother was born in Puerto Rico, a U.S. territory, and her father, indeed, immigrated from Ireland. The couple's engagement, meanwhile, was surprisingly under the radar. They got engaged in 2020, but didn't share the news publicly until Tiffany Trump's wedding in 2022. Still, Kimberly often gushed about their bond. In a 2021 interview on Successful Philanthropy, she called Don Jr. her best friend and described their relationship as one filled with laughter, strategy sessions, and shared purpose. Don Jr. returned the affection at the RNC, joking about testing her MAGA spirit with fishing trips and shooting ranges. In 2021, they seemed to cement their future together with a $9.7 million waterfront mansion in Jupiter, Florida, prime real estate for a couple destined for conservative stardom. But as the cameras flashed and the headlines rolled in, subtle signs of strain began to show. Stay tuned, because what looked like an unshakable MAGA love story was about to turn juicy. Behind their carefully curated image of unity, cracks in Don Jr. and Kimberly Guilfoyle's relationship were hard to miss. Whispers from insiders painted a far less picture-perfect story, one laced with arguments that sometimes erupted publicly, casting a shadow over their red carpet smiles. Tensions simmered just beneath the surface, especially during the 2020 Trump campaign, where Kimberly held a high-profile, high-stakes role. As the finance chair of the Trump Victory Committee, Kimberly was in charge of millions of donor dollars, but her leadership sparked controversy. Her tenure was marred by staff exits and accusations of excessive spending. Politico reported that her fundraising style made some donors visibly uncomfortable, particularly after she allegedly made sexually explicit remarks during events. Chaos seemed to trail her, culminating in raised eyebrows when it came to her own payday, a $15,000 monthly payment funneled through campaign manager Brad Parscale's firm. Then came her now infamous $60,000 speech at the January 6th Save America March, which ended with a hip-shaking moment that became a viral lightning rod following the Capitol riot. Her exit from Fox News was no cleaner, though it was presented publicly as a career pivot. Reporting from HuffPost and The New Yorker painted a much messier reality. In 2018, Kimberly allegedly faced a sexual harassment investigation, with top brass at the network offering her a choice: resign quietly or be fired outright. While the network stayed tight-lipped on the specifics, the scandal clashed awkwardly with her polished MAGA image and conservative branding. Meanwhile, Don Jr. was juggling his own controversies. In his 2019 book Triggered, he pushed back against persistent rumors about his past drug use, reaffirming that he'd been sober since 2002. But the contrast between his disciplined sobriety and Kimberly's rumored party girl lifestyle was hard to ignore. Sources told the Daily Mail that Don Jr. grew increasingly uncomfortable with her wardrobe choices: skin-tight dresses, crystal-covered stilettos, and flashy looks that often drew attention at formal political events. It wasn't just a fashion critique. With his father eyeing a 2024 return to the White House, image mattered more than ever. And then came the nickname, whispered at first, then repeated in headlines and group chats. A single label that changed the way insiders viewed the power couple, and the way Don Jr. saw the woman at his side. Now let's get to the heart of the drama, the Margarita Girl nickname that reportedly demolished Kimberly's engagement. Just when things seemed smooth between Kimberly Guilfoyle and Donald Trump Jr., the story took a sharp, headline-grabbing detour. The Daily Mail revealed it as a jab at her love for cocktails and sorority sister lifestyle, a stark contrast to Don Jr.'s sober, disciplined world. New content paints Kimberly as the ultimate hostess, throwing legendary parties with champagne, gourmet cuisine, and A-list guests. From San Francisco Law Days to Mar-a-Lago galas, her events were iconic, meticulously planned, high energy, and exclusive. Guests raved about her ability to make everyone feel like a VIP, a skill honed since her prosecutor days. But the new source adds a twist. The nickname, initially a playful nod to her party-loving vibe, became a symbol of deeper rifts. Kimberly's opulent gatherings, think late-night music and flowing drinks, clashed with Don Jr.'s quiet, family-focused life. Sober since 2002, as detailed in Triggered, he wrote, "Once I got going, it wasn't easy to stop me." Quitting alcohol was his path to success, and Kimberly's rumored drinking, per the Daily Mail, was a deal-breaker. Friends noted Don Jr. skipped her events, feeling out of sync with her relentless pace. The nickname, per the new content, wasn't just about booze. It highlighted their increasingly divergent paths, with Kimberly thriving in the limelight and Don craving low-key evenings. The Daily Mail added fuel. Don Jr. was embarrassed by Kimberly's inappropriate outfits, tight dresses and crystal heels, at formal events, especially with Trump's 2024 White House return looming. People reported he'd complained for months about her uptight style, craving a relaxed vibe. The nickname crystallized these tensions, symbolizing a lifestyle Don Jr. couldn't endorse. Kimberly brushed it off with confidence, but friends saw it struck a nerve, per the new source. Was this just gossip, or was something bigger at play? For a man who openly detailed his struggles with alcohol in Triggered, sobriety isn't just a lifestyle, it's a lifeline. Don Jr. once admitted, "Once I got going, it wasn't easy to stop me." That kind of history makes compatibility with a hard-partying partner a tall order. And the whispers about Guilfoyle's drinking weren't just tabloid fodder, they symbolized a deeper tension simmering beneath the surface. While Guilfoyle strutted around in sharp suits and sky-high stilettos, Don Jr., and by extension the Trump family, wanted someone who looked more Mar-a-Lago chic than Wall Street warrior. Sources told people he had been quietly griping about her look for months. In a world obsessed with image, where every handshake and photo op is a chess move, Kimberly's bold persona was becoming a liability. And this wasn't just about appearances. With a potential second Trump term looming, insiders say the family was on high alert, every move calculated, every partner vetted. Kimberly, once seen as a political asset, was starting to feel like a wild card. Her fashion, her energy, even her past, all were being scrutinized. The Margarita Girl label didn't just sting, it echoed through the inner circles of power like an alarm bell. But just as the dust started to settle, a new plot twist emerged, and this one? It came wrapped in fresh intrigue, and possibly a new woman. When Kimberly Guilfoyle's once fiery presence began to fade, a new face emerged with striking force: Bettina Anderson. At 38, this Palm Beach socialite, model, and founder of a wildlife conservation nonprofit became the unexpected name on everyone's lips, and not just for her polished looks. In September 2024, Daily Mail captured Don Jr. and Bettina sharing mimosas and kisses at brunch. Despite his still active engagement to Kimberly, people later revealed the affair had been going on for 6 months. Insiders claimed he introduced Bettina as his girlfriend on a trip to Alaska. Who was this woman capturing his attention? Elegant, unbothered, and effortlessly stylish. Everything Kimberly was not. Don Jr. reportedly referred to her as his Melania, a comparison that didn't go unnoticed by his father. By December, they were full-on public, cuddling at Bettina's birthday party, flaunting affection at the LIV Golf Miami tournament, and turning heads at Trump's glitzy New Year's Eve celebration at Mar-a-Lago. Even Inauguration Day in Super Bowl 59 saw the couple in tow, awkwardly overlapping with Kimberly, who was still orbiting the Trump universe. Anderson's Instagram lit up with stories featuring hand-drawn hearts and cozy snapshots of her and Don Jr., prompting Vanity Fair to declare, "This looks real." Meanwhile, whispers swirled about Kimberly's fashion falling out of favor with the Trump patriarch, who reportedly found her style too loud, too bold, too much. Bettina, in contrast, knew when to smile for the camera and when to step aside. She embodied the clean-cut aesthetic Trump Sr. appreciated, all while avoiding the attention-grabbing theatrics Kimberly clung to. As Bettina settled in, more than a few insiders wondered, with Kimberly out and Bettina in, what happens to that rumored ambassador post? On December 10th, 2024, barely a week after paparazzi snapped Don Jr. kissing Bettina Anderson over brunch, President-elect Donald Trump dropped a headline-grabbing announcement. Kimberly Guilfoyle had been tapped as the next U.S. ambassador to Greece. The timing raised more than a few perfectly groomed eyebrows. According to People, insiders didn't mince words. This was a calculated move to send Kim abroad, effectively clearing the runway for Don Jr.'s new romance to take off without turbulence. Trump, ever the showman, sang Kimberly's praises on Truth Social, calling her a close friend and ally, and applauding her sharp intellect and leadership in law, media, and politics. But behind the flattery, the subtext was loud and clear. Pack your bags, Kim. She'd be heading to Jefferson House, the elegant, but far less opulent, ambassador's residence in Athens, a steep downgrade from the sprawling Jupiter, Florida mansion she once shared with Don Jr. Still, Kimberly leaned into the rebrand. By April 2025, even as her Senate confirmation lingered in bureaucratic limbo, her Instagram bio had already been updated. Appointed by President Donald J. Trump as the U.S. ambassador to Greece, she played the part with gusto, attending the White House's Greek Independence Day reception in March and making headlines posing with Kevin Costner at Super Bowl 59. But not everyone was convinced she was ready for diplomacy. Daily Mail unearthed old Fox News footage, where she referred to Greeks as freeloaders in the wake of the 2008 economic crisis, an echo that could prove diplomatically disastrous. Behind the scenes, sources hinted that her punchy, straight-to-camera persona, so effective on TV, might rub Athens's refined diplomatic circles the wrong way. Vanity Fair cheekily dubbed her exiled, implying the gig was less about prestige and more about making space, namely, for Bettina Anderson. Don Jr., for his part, kept things civil. "We will always share a special bond," he told Page 6. And in a blink-and-you'll-miss-it moment, during a March 2025 DC Blockchain Summit livestream, Yahoo spotted a framed photo of Don and Kimberly from 2021 sitting quietly on a shelf behind him. So was this high-profile appointment a golden parachute, a reward for loyalty, or a diplomatic way to make her disappear from the Trump family narrative? The jury's still out, but the optics speak volumes. Kimberly Guilfoyle didn't just survive the breakup, she turned it into a rebrand. By March 2025, she was back in the headlines, this time for owning the spotlight at a Mar-a-Lago fundraiser, draped in a daring black gown that Daily Mail called a showstopper. On Valentine's Day, she stirred intrigue with a cryptic Instagram post showing a lavish bouquet of red roses. No caption, no tag, just speculation. Was it a soft launch of a new love interest? Yahoo certainly thought so. Far from retreating, Kimberly stayed plugged into Trump world. The Daily Beast even credited her with brokering a surprising political bridge between California Governor Gavin Newsom and MAGA firebrand Charlie Kirk, helping reshape Newsom's image for a red state audience. And while her romance with Don Jr. had fizzled, the split stayed remarkably civil. No icy glares or side-eyes were reported at January's inaugural festivities, according to India Today. It was as if both parties understood the power of optics and chose peace. Still, the Margarita Girl label clung to Kimberly like last season's scandal, a subtle jab at her glam-heavy, high-octane lifestyle that never quite aligned with the Trump family's more curated image of conservative elegance. While Kimberly once brought energy to the MAGA stage, whispers suggested her flashiness had begun to grate on the family's sensibilities. Meanwhile, Don Jr. was fully leaning into life with Bettina Anderson. The word serious kept popping up in People reports, with insiders musing the couple might go the distance. Anderson's seamless appearances at Trump World staples, Super Bowl parties, AMFAR galas, Mar-a-Lago soirees weren't just romantic outings. They were soft-launched into the inner circle. She wasn't just arm candy, she was being positioned. Despite the new romance, Don Jr. still had kind words for Kimberly. He clapped back at what he called baseless tabloid garbage about her, signaling a respectful closure. But by April 2025, the Jupiter, Florida mansion they once shared had quietly been pulled off the market, according to Yahoo, the final nail in the relationship's very public coffin. If there's one thing the Trump orbit does better than most, it's blending personal drama with political maneuvering. Kimberly's ambassadorship to Greece wasn't just a career pivot, it was a chess move, a way to honor her loyalty while tactfully putting distance between her and the ever-tightening family spotlight, 5,000 miles to be exact. The breakup's timing, before the 2024 election, ensured minimal disruption to Trump's campaign, as Don Jr. and Guilfoyle avoided public discussion to focus on important issues, per Us Weekly. However, its long-term effects on the Trump brand and MAGA movement are nuanced. As MAGA's prom king and queen, per Business Insider, their split could have fractured supporter morale. Yet, their amicable parting and Guilfoyle's ambassadorship have preserved unity. Don Jr.'s influence, lobbying for J.D. Vance as VP and shaping cabinet picks via his Triggered podcast, remains strong, per AP News. Guilfoyle's RNC speeches and campaign roles, including leading Trump's 2020 fundraising, keep her a MAGA icon, even from Athens. Their mutual respect, evident in Don Jr.'s page 6 statement and Guilfoyle's birthday tribute, prevents factionalism. Don Jr.'s affair allegations risk alienating evangelical voters, a key MAGA bloc, especially given parallels to his father's past. However, the Trump family's knack for spinning drama, framing Guilfoyle's Greece role as a promotion, mitigates backlash, per Slate. Guilfoyle's 2018 Fox News exit amid sexual harassment allegations, settled for $4 million, could resurface if critics target her ambassadorship, but her MAGA loyalty shields her from internal pushback. Don Jr.'s growing clout positions him as a potential MAGA heir if Trump's health falters. Anderson's integration into Trump events suggests she's learning the political ropes, unlike Guilfoyle, who prioritized media over Trump loyalty, per People. Guilfoyle's diplomatic post may limit her campaign influence, but could elevate her as a global MAGA voice if she succeeds in Greece. The breakup reflects MAGA's evolving dynamics, less about traditional values, more about image and loyalty. Don Jr.'s shift to Anderson, seen as a better fit for the Trump aesthetic, underscores the movement's premium on optics, per The Cut. Guilfoyle's resilience, maintaining ties with Don Jr. at inauguration events, per Hindustan Times, shows MAGA's tolerance for personal drama if political allegiance holds. However, her absence from the U.S. could reduce her visibility among grassroots supporters, potentially ceding ground to figures like Lara Trump. The movement's focus on disruption, as Don Jr. defends picks like RFK Jr., suggests personal scandals won't derail its momentum, but they highlight its reliance on spectacle. The couple's $9.7 million Jupiter mansion, purchased in 2021, was off the market by April 2025, per Yahoo, indicating a resolved asset split. Don Jr.'s move to Anderson's West Palm Beach townhouse, per The Cut, and Guilfoyle's relocation to Athens' Jefferson House suggest both have adapted financially. Guilfoyle's ambassadorship provides a stable income, while Don Jr.'s $150 million net worth, per prior analysis, ensures his lifestyle remains intact. Their amicable division, per Us Weekly, avoids costly legal battles. Unlike Don Jr.'s contested 2018 divorce from Vanessa, Palm Beach's elite, where the affair was an open secret, per the Daily Mail, have embraced Anderson, a regular at society events, per Palm Beach Post. Guilfoyle's Mar-a-Lago appearances, like the Wags to Riches Gala, show she retains local clout, but her Greece move may shift her focus to international circles. Her ability to continuously cross paths with Don Jr., per Hindustan Times, due to mutual friends, ensures ongoing social ties, minimizing awkwardness, as seen at inauguration events. Vanessa's presence alongside both women at these events highlights a complex but functional social dynamic. Her ambassadorship's success hinges on overcoming her 2015 Greece comment and adapting her blunt style to diplomacy. Failure could tarnish her legacy and MAGA's global image, while success could redefine her as a serious stateswoman, per Vanity Fair. Persistent infidelity rumors could erode his credibility among conservative voters, especially if Anderson's socialite image overshadows his family man persona. His ability to maintain MAGA loyalty, as seen in his podcast and ex-engagement, will be crucial. Both face tabloid frenzy, with Guilfoyle's past Fox News scandal and Don Jr.'s January 6th role potentially resurfacing. Their amicable front, per Page 6, mitigates this, but any public spat could reignite drama. While the breakup hasn't fractured MAGA, future personal scandals could test its resilience, especially if Don Jr.'s influence grows. Guilfoyle's reduced U.S. presence may limit her ability to counter emerging MAGA figures. So, what's the real takeaway from this MAGA drama that played out like a primetime soap? Kimberly Guilfoyle's Margarita Girl nickname wasn't just a flippant dig. It was the shorthand for a deeper clash of image, ambition, and lifestyle. Her bold fashion, headline-making energy, and whispered about drinking habits stood in stark contrast to Don Jr.'s newly sober, more buttoned-up persona. And when the Trump family's brand is all about curated elegance and loyalty without chaos, Kimberly's vibe started to feel off-script. The ambassadorship to Greece, on paper, a high honor. In reality, a strategic pivot. A way to thank a loyal soldier while quietly moving her out of the main narrative. 5,000 miles away, no less. It was classic Trump. Reward the past, but clear the runway for the future. That future, of course, now stars Bettina Anderson, whose cool composure and tailored grace slipped easily into the family dynamic. Yet through it all, Kimberly didn't fold. She stepped back into the spotlight on her own terms. Stylish, unapologetic, and still very much a player. Love her or not, there's no denying her resilience. And this whole saga? It's a masterclass in how optics run the show in Trump world, where loyalty earns you a lifeline, but image determines whether you stay center stage or get edited out. So, what's your take? Was Kimberly sidelined unfairly, or was this breakup just written in the stars from the start? Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit that like button, and don't forget to subscribe for more juicy, behind-the-curtain political drama. Because in Trump's America, the next plot twist is always just around the corner.